Hi, Papa here. We're talking about rocks. We've been talking about minerals, and we know that minerals. You put minerals together, and you get a rock. Right now, I want to talk. Before we go any further, I want to talk about the tools you need to go out there and make fun discoveries about rocks. A really basic fun tool is the rock hammer. Why do we need a rock hammer? Well, you don't need a rock hammer like this. This is a real geology rock hammer, but any hammer will do. Just a regular old hammer like you hammer nails with will do. Well, why do you need a hammer like this? Because to me, when I go out there and pick up a rock, most rocks look the same because they've been exposed to weathering, so they've got rusty brown stuff on them and dark stuff. There could be mold or moss growing on them, so you can't tell what the heck they are. You need to crack them. So rule number one, crack your rocks, and you need a hammer to do that. Here's a good example of a rock that I found. Just laying around. And okay, so that's nondescript. You can't really tell much about that. But I cracked it. It was longer, and I took my hammer and cracked it. And so this is what was on the inside. Isn't that different? Now I can start to figure out what this rock is. The weathering process did that to the outside. But that's what really the rock looks like. These are fresh rock crystals that have never ever seen the light of day since they first formed. That is so cool all by itself. Okay, so I've cracked my rock. Rule number one, crack your rocks. Rule number two, I want to know what minerals are in this rock right here. And they're tiny. I can't see them very well with my naked eye. So I need a hand lens, right? Yeah. So here's my hand lens, which is on a string that I wear around my neck. You can get a hand lens off of Amazon really cheap. And this is a kind of a fancy one. It's got 3 lenses in it, which I only use one. But you can get a 10x, that means a 10x hand lens off of Amazon for just a few bucks. And it magnifies things 10 times. That's enough. So how do you use a hand lens? You hold the hand lens stationary to your eye, and you move the rock back and forth till you get a focus. Back and forth. You don't move the hand lens. Nah. You hold the hand lens like this, stationary to the eye. And I usually take my glasses off to do that, but for demonstration purposes, I don't need to. Okay, so a hand lens. Next thing you ought to have is something to scratch rock with. This is a nickel. And a nickel is good because it's a test between biotite, the mineral biotite, which we've talked about, and harder minerals like hornblende would be the next one up. And pyroxene, those are both black minerals. So you need a nickel. And I wear this one around my neck. I drilled a hole in it. Yeah, sorry, Thomas Jefferson's no longer got a brain. Anyway, so you use it to scratch. And you know, if you scratch this black stuff, and it makes a, let's see if we can scratch this. See, I want to know, is there biotite in here? So I've scratched this surface. And see, that gray stuff, that's dust. That's not the nickel deteriorating, that's the rock. So I scratched it, and the answer is probably, yeah, this black stuff is probably biotite. Biotite. So the nickel. And the last thing is a little knife, a metal knife, because you can tell the difference between the mineral calcite, which is calcium carbonate, and quartz, which we've talked about, glassy quartz, which is silicon dioxide, by scratching it with a knife. The knife will not scratch quartz, but it will easily scratch calcium carbonate, and they look very much alike. So those are the 3 tools you need to help you. There are other tools like an acid test for limestone. We'll talk about that later. But with these basic tools, you can discover a lot of great things about rocks. Okay, Papa out.